Peer-to-peer lending has disrupted the traditional lending industry. Well, now traditional lending companies are looking to disrupt the disruptors. My co-anchor for the next hour, Betty Lou, joins me now to discuss. We're not talking about traditional banks like JP Morgan or Citigroup or anything.
No, or Wells Fargo by that matter, which is the #1 mortgage lender in the United States. Now, this is a company called loanDepot.com, and they've been able to make billions and billion dollars of loans in the same way that we have heard these peer-to-peer lenders do this, right? So that's the hot thing.
Like your Lending Club or someone else.
Lending Club, I think Payoff is another one, and there's several. And Lending Club, as you know, IPO'd a few months ago. So this is supposed to, so these guys are supposed to eat the lunch of the big banks, right? But the big banks are fighting back, and also some of the traditional players. So loanDepot.com, as I mentioned, they're coming back and trying to disrupt this. Now, non-bank lending, though.
That market overall
Is growing, and it is a problem for the Goldman Sachs's and the Wells Fargo's of the world. I think Goldman Sachs put out a report back in March saying that non-bank lending is now at $11 billion. That's still a fraction of the entire loan market, Scarlett, but it is a growing faction.
Yeah.
Now, what I find interesting is that this peer-to-peer lending, while it is hot, Lending Club, the stock itself, since the IPO, remember that they IPO'd at $15 a share, zoomed up. Can we show the chart, guys? Zoomed up, and now it is below its IPO price. So I think there are a lot of questions about how viable they are when you get banks, coming back on board and fighting with them and undercutting them with rates and as they loosen their standards as well with the economy coming back. So it's all going to be very interesting. This is all part of the shadow banking industry that the banks would like to see more regulated. You heard Hillary Clinton, who I know is going to be making her speech later this afternoon. She talked a few weeks ago about wanting to regulate this part of the industry more. So that could be another damper for the lending clubs.
And regulators, of course, have their hands full just regulating the traditional banking industry, the traditional finance industry. They haven't really got
which
their
has
head around
allowed this whole other area to blossom, right?
Right. So the stance by Goldman Sachs, I know you said they put out a report issuing the amount that the market is worth. Have they said anything more beyond that?
They haven't said. I mean, from time to time, I mean, all they've really said is that this shadow banking industry needs to be watched and regulated, right? And that it's, it's not, because it's not regulated, you don't know who the characters are. Some of the characters are who are making these kinds of loans and what the standards are, and whether if they get too big, could they pose a systemic risk?
That's the thing.